Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
I'm Roger Soddy. I make Nabisco shredded wheat dirt post cereals. You know, sometimes we bring our kids in. They like watching us make shredded wheat, but when it comes time to eat it, well, they're not exactly like bees are to honey. But I think that's gonna change. This is our new Honey Nut shredded wheat. It's shredded wheat, all baked up with honey and nuts. Kids love to eat it, parents love to eat it, and we even love to eat it right out of the box. And I'm getting pretty popular around here.
God damn, Steve. We cannot get this goddamn episode off the ground.
Man, yeah.
But we finally got the record button hit. So welcome everybody to episode 138 of Happened in the 90s. Matt G here with my boy Steve G. Steve G on the ones and twos. He's gonna sit in the background. Steve, I want you to take a seat because
Hey, yo.
everybody needs to know, we're covering a date, but this date that we're actually recording this show is a day before one Steve G's birthday. So I wanted to say happy birthday to my dog, Steve G.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Doc.
And just, you had once told me about some shit that happened on my birthday, just to, kind of make me feel better about it. So I wanted to take you just down a walk down memory lane, Steve. Steve G, this is your
Ooh.
birthday.
This is your life.
So it was a Saturday, Steve. It's a Saturday. The Raiders, they were about to win the Super Bowl. The Cardinals, weirdly, Baltimore. The Orioles. The Orioles, Steve, wrong bird. The Orioles, they're about to win a championship. And goddamn, the fucking 76ers, love them or hate them, they were about to win one too, Steve. Dr. J, Moses, they were all there. What was playing on the radio at that time? In the UK, UB40, Red Red Wine. So that might have been on the ones and twos. And that song Maniac was number one in America. So that was all going on.
Awesome.
Yeah. Notable birthdays. You were born on the same day as Phil Jackson, Steve. Legend. I think that's apropos. Did you know that?
The Zen Master. I did. The Zen Master, man. Yes.
Yeah. Flo Rida. I don't know how you feel. Flo Rida, successful rapper. You guys share a birthday.
Hey, he made his chicken.
Kyle Chandler, famous actor from weird movies. I think he was in Twin Peaks, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's that dude.
Really? Okay, that's pretty cool.
Big
Kyle
day.
Chandler. Okay.
Mission Impossible, the show, way back in the day, premiered on this day. Wild Wild West and Hogan's Heroes. A lot of notable shows. Billy the Kid, if you want to go way back. And
The real Billy the Kid?
the real motherfucking Billy the Kid, American Gunman. That's what he's listed as. If he's on a Netflix documentary, American Gunman, Steve. You and the kid, my man.
That I didn't know. That's
Pretty dope. And just like to wrap it all up, obviously the person that we think is the most notable is Steve G. But to anybody born on this day, and I think it's very appropriate for you, Steve, if you do the mathematics, it takes 9 months for a kid to pop out, right? Meaning you're a Christmas gift. You're the universe's Christmas gift to the world. So you were conceived around Christmas sometime. And here we are, 40 years later, about. And you're about to be 40, my man. You're looking good. So congrats. Happy birthday to you and all those other people. And the legend. The
appreciate
man.
that, man. It's a blessing, man. It's definitely a blessing. Yeah, man. Around what, December, January in '83, my mom and dad were like, yeah, we got to get jobs now.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be, but look what happened, man. Look at the gift they got, and look at the gift the world got. So to everyone, salute to Steve G. September 17th. It was a real one. It was a good day.
Appreciate that, Ann and Steve. Y'all some real ones. I mean, Steve, man, hey, bro, I could have been a stain on your gym sock, but you let me make it. It's like, man, you know what? We gonna do this thing. At 19 years old, Matt. 19.
Man. I think I met your dad when we graduated. I remember thinking that dude, your dad had some style, dude. When I saw him at graduation, I was like, I'm gonna be living with that dude's son. I'm gonna look like shit.
I just remember him saying, like, because you had this big stogie, and I remember him saying, that kid's got a stogie. He's smoking a stogie.
That was the thing. I don't know why. I guess you just want to look tough, man. We just graduated. That was the adult shit.
Dude, the next time I go home, man, I gotta find that picture of it's me and you at high school graduation, and I think you have that stogie in your hand.
If we took it after we graduated, hell yeah, I did. That thing was like that thing took like 8 hours to fucking. I probably puked at smoking that fucking gross shit, but you know.
That was moments. It was moments that like that made me feel like a grown up. Like my peers, like some of them were out here smoking cigars, and like the other adults, they're not flinching because we can do that shit now, right? Yeah. It was like empowering.
Hell yeah, dude. Get that picture. I want to see that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's golden. Put that shit on the album cover.
Oh yeah.
It's Red Lobster's new lunch special. Shrimp and chicken, just $3.99. Golden fried shrimp and grilled chicken breast with salad and baked potato, just $3.99 for a limited time at Red Lobster for lunch.
Well, hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Matt G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Ozzie Smith jerseys and your Ozzy Osbourne and hey, way, I got a new complaint. Forever indebted to your priceless advice. Hey, way, I got a new complaint. Forever indebted to your priceless advice. Down, 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 down.
Fire.
Right here, what are you asking? That's a statutory.
You pick again, man. I'm gonna let you pick the shows. You're picking some good shows, Steve. You're back-to-back weeks here, but these are some bangers.
Have you or Kendra been sold on the Seinfeld, the idea of
Yeah, I'm in on it now. I just gotta get the time. I just gotta make that commitment where I'm like, I'm gonna get through it. I'm just gonna keep watching it because we all get comfortable with shows, and to add another show into the mix, it's like I don't. Frasier, no, I can't. But no, definitely. And this one is fucking hilarious. So this is another great example of how I don't think we've watched quote unquote a bad episode of the show if it even exists. So
I assume that hey, usually if a person's a fan of Frasier, of course they're gonna Seinfeld.
I don't know what it is, man. I really don't. When I watch it, I love it, but I just never commit to just going through and just being like a rabid fan of the show. But I mean, shit, man. It's a classic for a reason.
Yes, sir. Well, today, my friend, we're talking about all things September 21st in the 90s. Starting off in 90, Don't Tell Her It's Me premieres. And it's Steve Guttenberg character. He plays Gus. And he's the total opposite of his normal characters that we've known the Goods to be a part of, man. And he overcomes Hodgkin's lymphoma. He beats cancer, and he's not. But like I said, he's a shy, aloof guy. This isn't how we're used to seeing Steve. And he doesn't have a love life. You know, he's insecure about himself. He's curmudgeon. And Shelley Long plays his sister. And she's like this romance novelist. So she wants to be matchmaker. She like sets him up with this girl, and she's just like, ugh, she's not feeling him, man. And over time, she creates this persona, and he buys into it. And he becomes like this Michael Bolton-esque, like suave Fabio type guy.
I like that. I love that for
Yeah,
Steve Gutenberg.
yeah, man. He goes from
Whoa, wait a sec.
he
Okay.
goes from this to this.
That looks like Billy Ray Cyrus. That don't look like Steve Gutenberg. Oh,
Billy Ray Bolton.
damn. What a strange twist for a cancer survival tale for that. I mean, damn, I wish that happened to me though, honestly. I wish
And
I came out of leukemia with that fucking suave mullet like that, Steve. I mean, one can only wish.
yeah, and
Fuck. Man, that looks
he
crazy though.
finally
They gave him like the chubby like steroid cheeks and shit. They made this like really like accurate. This is crazy.
and it's supposed to be a comedy, man. I didn't find the funny in it.
Damn. I mean, to get once you see that second look though, once you get to the 90s, like the like he got bit by a 90s spider look, that Billy
Yeah.
Ray fucking suave. That's kind of comedic, Steve. So I don't know.
I mean, there's some moments you blink and you missed it, and I love the Gutenbergs. Yeah, I fucks with you Gutenbergs from Police Academy, 3 Men and a Baby. What else?
Big Green, to throw that out there. He was in that, I
Short
believe.
Circuit.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. Gutenberg, man, you a G, bro. But also in 1990, Evening Shade premieres on CBS, and the series stars Burt Reynolds as Woodrow Newton, an ex-professional football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who returns to rural Evening Shade, Arkansas, to coach a high school football team with a long losing streak. That Reynolds personally requested to use the Steelers as his character's former team because he's a fan.
I
Fun
love
fact.
that. Love that for Bert. Rest in peace. Damn, my parents watched this. Now I remember this because of the dudes behind your head. I don't want to call
Ozzie
him the black
Davis.
dude, Ozzie Davis, and that other guy, that the bald dude. I forget his name.
Well, yeah, Ozzie Davis, he would do like the narration leading into the episode and coming out, and this was a fixture on CBS for about 3-4 years, man, and it's been rumored that Burt Reynolds left the show around the time he split up with Lonnie Anderson, and like his personal life was interfering with his professional life, and if I lost Lonnie, I'd be in a stew too, because she was that girl.
Yeah, dude, that was his fucking number one. That's crazy. Burt, I forgot Burt Reynolds was in it. I remember the show, but I thought it was just some like generic dude, not Burt fucking Reynolds.
Yeah, this was his starring vehicle, and I believe he was nominated a couple of times throughout this run, man. But also in 1990, Going Places debuts on ABC. The series stars Alan Ruck, Jerry Levine, Heather Locklear, and Haley Todd as four young Hollywood writers renting a house together, and it aired as part of the TGIF block. And it's random shit that I remember, Matt. And this is one of them things. Like I remember these
Ooh.
people: Heather Locklear, Alan Ruck from Ferris Bueller and Spin City, and you know, I guess because it was paired up with the Full House and Family Matters, of course I'm gonna catch this too.
How long did it last though? This couldn't have lasted more than a season because I don't remember this at all.
19 episodes, Matt.
Okay, so that's probably one season. That might be
Yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah.
grand opening, grand closing.
Hey, you got to give Alan Ruck some work, dude. He's in Ferris Bueller. He'll get Spin City eventually.
Yeah, you want to know who else was in it? A young Stacy Keenan, 1 year before Step by Step,
Uh-oh.
Day by.
Now I know why you're really watching this show, Steve.
You know why I'm watching. Yeah.
Stacy.
Call me, girl. I know you're watching. But also in 1991, The Torkelsons debuts on NBC. And I only remember this is because this was where I first saw Minkus. Random shit I remember, Matt. I remember him from this before Boy Meets World.
Who's the dad? It almost looks like the guy we interviewed from Saved by the Bell. I know it's not him, but
The dad, well, Brittany Murphy was also in it.
Brittany Murphs. Where's she at in that picture? Look at Minkus though.
She's standing next to Minkus.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't tell who any of these people. This is just some uggo shit going on here, Steve. What was going on? What happened to actors in the early '90s, Steve? This looks like an Amish like portrait that they got at Olin Mills.
Two, two. I mean, that you painted that portrait well, man.
I'm
2 seasons and 33 episodes, and yeah, man.
What's with the kid that's like on the far right that looks like he works at a car lot? Like he's a car mechanic, but he's 12.
Hey, yo, you need
Hey,
your oil change.
Joey, how's the divorce going? Bitch took
They
me
lived
for a
in
couple bucks.
they
Sorry.
lived in Pyramid Corners, a community near Veneta, Oklahoma. They
A
did what they did to
community.
survive.
A
Yeah,
community, Steve. You know, this is a cult,
or
Steve.
it's a compound. Yeah. And thanks for cutting me off, man, because the premise, no one cares. All 33 episodes of it could have went to hell. But somebody who probably didn't watch the debut of the Torkelsons on NBC is probably Michael, Scotty, Carl Malone, Patrick Ewing, and Clyde Drexler, and Chuck Daly, and all the people who were on the Dream Team because it was announced for the first time. And fuck, Mary Kill. It was the best team ever assembled.
Ever, dude. You can't beat this team, Steve. This team, the cups, the merchandise, the jerseys, the talent. Dude,
X-Men of sports.
I just remember being so like never giving a fuck about the Olympics. Could give a shit, Steve. Never could give a fuck. And then
A
this
rat's
happened,
ass.
and I was watching every fucking game. Let's watch them annihilate the Ukraine by
Oh.
3,000 points. That's gonna be fun.
Is it 2 a.m.? Shit, I got time.
MJ scored 3,000 points. That's crazy, but I'm in. Also, let me go to Mickey D's and get all those cups because that shit was fire.
And you know what? We could use a dream team right now. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the world is catching up. These aren't the days of us just going over there and schooling them in our sleep. No, they've been taking notes. This happened in '92. The dream team, yeah, man, they were like the Beatles,
So you're
but
telling
they've
me
been
like
watching
Jokic
NBA.
just wins a championship here and then's like, I'm playing in Serbian, whatever. Like, so he
Yeah.
goes back and takes that. See, I don't know, Steve. You do. We need a hero right now, Steve. We need a montage.
We need a fucking montage. The best of the best. LeBron, Steph, I know y'all watching. KD, we need,
Dude.
hey man, America needs
We
y'all.
need a hero. A hero. Dude, we're cooking with gas, Steve. I think we're gonna get that. This is a movie to be made. I'm in.
But in 1993, De La Soul releases Balloon Mind State, the third album. It would be the last album produced by Prince Paul. And this was very jazzy, man. They actually had jazz artists in there. One track by Maceo Parker. It's all just instrumental, which is lovely, man. They kind of Paul's boutiqued it. I don't know if you're familiar with BC Boys project. I think that's when they kind of like broke away from the norm of a quote unquote hip hop album. And they started throwing in some non sequitur instrumentals, man. And Chris Rock actually considers this one of the 10 best hip hop albums of all time.
I think a lot of people think De La Soul is like really at the top of the heap. Especially people like a little bit older than us that really like were of age to listen to all this stuff and appreciate it. De La Soul is like right up there.
Yeah, man. Like they were the first group, I think, them and A Tribe Called Quest to be like regular rap. Just we're rappers. We're black guys that just want to rap with our friends. We're not gangsters like NWA. We're not like militant like Public Enemy. We don't have like a gimmick or not saying those guys are gimmicky, but it is what it is. I think for our era when we were in college, it was Kanye West. It's like, hey, all these guys are this and that. Da, da, da. I'm just the regular guy at the time that just dropped out of college, and I like rhyming. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a player.
I was discussing this too, like rap groups like that. And like, remember Jurassic 5? Remember that group?
Jurassic 5.
They were
Yeah.
kind of in there, like the Roots too, I guess, if you want to like say that back in the day, like before they really popped off. That's crazy though. And I mean, I need to really dig deep and like go through all of De La Soul because, like I said, I'm not like into like just exploring music like a lot of people are. It's just not my thing. But I've heard too many people tell me how good they are to not just like go through and just listen to all of it.
They might have some stuff you like, man. But I know you're a G-Funk guy. You like that gangster shit.
Mm.
But also in '93, Nirvana releases In Euro, and that is the one with Hard Shamed Box and Rape Me. All apologies, and it's raw. It's got more ruggedness to it, more so than Nevermind. Even Kurt Cobain, he complained that Nevermind, it didn't capture the authenticity of the band. It's too polished. It's too pretty, shiny shit. I want that garage band feel. So In Utero it was.
I mean, this was definitely something I purchased. I loved Nirvana for a while. I don't know, man. Going back, it just keeps it, like there's bands I think that I love so much, like Soundgarden and stuff. But this was good, and this led into like, didn't they do their live, like the unplugged thing, like kind of right after this?
Around this time, yeah.
Yeah, man. I
And
mean,
they crushed it, man.
there's no denying that.
But also in '93, Another Bad Creation releases It Ain't What You Wear, It's How You Play It. Uh and this is the same group that brought us Aisha and Playground. Playground. Oh yeah, another
Oh my
ABC fat.
god.
Yeah, this album had none of those tracks on it. Another Bad Creation created something bad, and from their cosplay Jackson 5 get-ups to the song titles, one of them is "Where's Your Little Sister At?" And
Okay.
talking about songs that you can't perform now as an adult, I was like, let me hear this shit. So I played it, and most of the song, they're naming off celebrities and then saying, where's your little sister at? Michael Jordan, where's your little sister at? Magic Johnson, where's your little sister at? Naomi Campbell, where's your little sister at? Halle Berry, where's your little sister at? Will Smith, where's your little sister at? Ice Cube, where's your little sister at? I'm sure
They
some
were
of these
threatened by
men,
a lot of these people as subsequently after releasing the song.
yeah,
Suge Knight, where your little
where's
sister
your little
at?
sister at? Dr. Dre, where's your little sister at? Snoop Dogg, where's your little sister at? Easy E, where's your little sister at? You know how they have those reunion tours when they get older, New Kids on the Block, New Edition? If
So
Another Bad Creation got back together as 30 something and 40-year-old men, you cannot perform. Where's your little sister at? Washington, where's your little sister at? Samuel Jackson,
they're like, yo, let's just preface this by saying they gotta be of age, y'all. So now we're gonna get into it. 1, 2, 3. Fucking yeah, they didn't think that one through, Steve. You know, that was a money grab.
yeah, short-term vision right there, man. But also in 1993, NYPD Blue debuts on ABC. And when it was going on, man, never watched an episode. It was too adult for me. But fuck, Mary Kill, I kind of wish I did.
Oh
In,
yeah.
in the first episode, Dennis Franz get blasted by a mobster. They fucking wet him up because he was a drunk cop, I guess, and he would just not get off this mobster's tail. He's like, nah, motherfucker, I'm on to you. They go to court. This is how the show starts, man. They're in court, and like the dude like either beats the case or no decision, walks off, and Dennis Franz is just hounding dude. He's like, hey man, I'm telling you, you better back off. So the mobster sets him up with a hooker and like fucking just gets the drop on him, pulls him like with his pants down, literally, and fucking just wets him up. I told you, motherfucker. And the rest of the episode is like, will he survive? Obviously, the man does survive because he's in like 11 more seasons of this show. But I also wanted to say David Caruso is a respectable ginger. Don't say anything about the Caruso.
No, and also, no, what was the movie he was in? What was
He was
the
in some
New Jack
George.
City? Wasn't he in New Jack
No,
City?
no, that was the guy from
He was in
Breakfast Club.
King of
You're
New
thinking of
York. He was in one of those like '90s like gangster movies. One of them. I can't remember. Caruso can get. He's fine. He's a powerful presence, you know. But there's only so many passes we can give out for these demons.
how dare you? And also like this shit was softcore porn. And in this episode, Caruso's getting it in with this other cop, and like you see some booty, you see side boob. Yeah, like New York Undercover wasn't showing that. Like it was a fly
Damn,
show. Yeah.
NYPD blew my load, Steve. Ayo.
Yeah, we might have to cover some NYPD Blue,
What,
man.
what
Like eight.
what network was this on?
This was ABC, bro, in '93.
Damn. Throwing on a Full House and then throwing on a hooker blowing away a fucking cop. That's a weird transition, but maybe I overlooked this too, Steve. I overlooked the
Dude.
other one, New York Undercover, like you said.
Yeah.
So Dennis Franz. I think I always thought this was Jake and the Fat Man. Honestly, I think it was the same thing.
Because I remember Jimmy Smits. That's who I remember like more than Caruso being on here. It would be like Smits and Dennis Franz.
Damn, Smith. Yeah, this was the one with Smiths. Fucking
Yeah.
man, dude. Is Dennis Franz still with us?
He's still with us.
Oh, damn. Okay, cool. All of these people still. It's Caruso. He's living lavishly. He was on that show, Miami. The one. It was like the one that always like. He's like
CSI.
It's like we got a Miami style crime. Yeah. You know, you had to be there, Steve. I don't know. I'm stoned. Go for it.
I missed that one. But in 1994, Daddy's Girls debuts on CBS. Daddy's Girls, it abandoned after 3 episodes. It is notable as the first series in which a gay principal character is played by an openly gay actor, Harvey Fierstein. And I only wanted to bring this up so I can get your Harvey Fierstein impression.
Steve, they took away my damn show.
It's got Kerry Russell.
I was too goddamn fiery for these people. 3 episodes. 3 fucking episodes.
It starred Dudley Moore. It was Dudley Moore, Harvey Fierstein, a young Kerry Russell, and once again Alan Ruck. He's just always on call for these fucking shitty.
Me and Dudley Moore used to just do rails of cocaine and he blacked out a couple of times. Alan Ruck, he was jacking off in a corner someplace. Me, chill.
I don't know, but I mean, I don't think like putting Dudley Moore on a network television show was just a great idea. It seemed like that guy had some issues, and you know, Harvey Fierstein, yes. Alan Ruck, sure. He's the Steve Zahn of this era. But fucking Dudley Moore, it seems like he's a live wire, Steve. I feel like he probably groped a couple of these chicks, maybe blacked out. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the network needed some insurance certification before they proceeded.
But anyway, Steve, thanks for the shout out.
But also in '94, Touched by an Angel debuts on CBS. And you're talking about a mom and pop type of show. I think this lasted in syndication because of the boomer.
I mean, my grandma, this was the nightmare. Whatever night this was on, this was a nightmare because this would come on and I couldn't stand it, Steve. It's a sweet show. An angel intervenes in people's lives and it's great and all that, but it just, goddamn, this is meant for like people that are, you know, in a nursing home. That's what this was centered to. And I'm sure that this was a CBS show, so that tracks.
Oh, yeah. Followed by Murder, She Wrote. Followed by 60 Minutes. But also in '94, The Cosby Mysteries debuts on NBC. Whoa.
Well, was this like Unsolved Mysteries or what was this?
1 season and 19 episodes, Cosby plays Guy Hanks, a New York Police Department criminalist who retired from the police force after winning $44 million in the lottery. His peaceful retirement was frequently interrupted by his former colleagues, Detective Adam Sully and medical examiner John Chapman, who asked him to consult on tough cases. So he serves as a consultant of sorts. It's got a young Lynn Whitfield in it, Rita Moreno, and it's got the mighty Mos Def in it, man.
What the fuck were you thinking?
Who were the Yan Wizards who came up with this one?
Oh man.
But in 1995, Seinfeld is airing the season 7 premiere, The Engagement. While sitting in the coffee shop, Jerry and George resolve to grow up and take life more seriously. Jerry decides to call the woman he recently broke up with because she shushed him. For his part, George has been thinking a lot about his former girlfriend, Susan. After imagining the ideal life they could have together, he goes to her apartment and proposes. She accepts, and George almost immediately begins to have second thoughts, especially after Jerry breaks up with his girlfriend a second time.
Oh man, this is classic. And also, this is indicative of why this show is genius because you've definitely been through this. Everybody's been through this. All these
Buyer's
situations.
remorse?
Yeah, exactly. Where you're like, this is it. This is it, guys. And you even announce it to everybody. And then it's like, oh,
I feel like a goober.
So yeah, dude. And we start the episode off weirdly. I was like, what's going on here? But Elaine, she can't sleep. And I've also been here where you have a neighbor who has a dog or an animal that won't shut the fuck up and it's driving you fucking insane. So just hold that in the back pocket because that's going on.
And also, they're playing chess, George and his girlfriend, and he's talking shit. He thinks he's about to win. Yeah, the queen, yeah, she's old fashioned. She's just there to make the king a sandwich, make sure his bed is made by the time he gets off work and blah, blah, blah. One of these days, Alice. And then before you know it, checkmate, she wins.
And checkmate on the relationship because we cut to the diner then and George is out. He broke up with that bitch. And he's basically explaining to Jerry. Jerry's like, he broke up with her because he lost in chess, dude.
I felt emasculated.
Yeah, but he's like, dude, it's not just that. Every time that we're agreeing on something, she goes, "You happy, Pappy?" And that's the killer, Steve. That's the one. He's like, after this and the whole losing thing, it's over with. And then he points the finger at Jerry because he's like, you broke up with a bitch because she shushed you. So why are you talking to me about this shit?
You know what? You got a point. We need to start taking life seriously. We're freestyling with life. And it's like, why can't we be normal? We need to start caring about shit. Yeah, caring about shit. Caring about life.
Yeah, man.
You know what I was thinking about? Remember Susan? I ran into her the other day. You'd smash her, right? She got nice titties.
Yeah. Sure. And he's like, Jerry's like, wasn't that the one that became a lesbian? He's like, yeah, it didn't take. She's still available. And in this conversation, all the reminiscing, all the nostalgia, Jerry and George sort of, one could say make a pact to, alter their life course and maybe start giving a fuck, Steve. One could say, maybe if I'm looking at it, one might say a pact. Who knows?
It might be one-sided. But back at Jerry's apartment, he's on the phone and he tells the girl, hey, you know what? You can shush me anytime. Yeah. Is that all right with you? You happy, Pappy? And then Kramer comes in and, Jerry asks him, it's like, there's got to be more to life, right? He's like, no, dude, what are you thinking about? You sound like you're thinking about marriage and a family, that type of shit. No, dude, don't follow down that road. It's a trap. It's prison. You always have to ask permission to use the restroom. You can't eat while you watch TV anymore. That's out.
It's prison, Jerry. It's prison. I mean, he makes a hell of a sales pitch. So much, I think it gets Jerry thinking, Steve. And then we cut to the beach and the boardwalk, and George is like just sitting on the boardwalk reminiscing, and he's just seeing couples everywhere, which happens. This happens when you're single. You're like, everyone's just in love, and I'm just lost at the beach.
And this is hilarious. Without it, I don't know if that was the intent, but he just looks pathetic and funny, just sitting there on the dock of the bay like Otis Redding, goddamn.
And cut back to Jerry's, and Lane's there. She's hoarse because she can't stop screaming at a fucking dog that won't shut the fuck up. And Kramer's like, what if the dog had an accident? I might know a guy who knows a guy who might be able to create that situation. And Jerry's like, you're gonna off the dog? And, Kramer's sort of vague about what, who, and where this might happen, but he's like, I'll hook you up with a guy. So then we cut to Newman's.
Yeah.
Newman's like fucking just some fucking Don Corleone type. He's in the shadows. He's got a stogie. And he's like, what kind of breed is it? He's getting all the details and shit.
I see many dogs on my route. They serve no purpose. Those vile, venomous Newman. Like Kramer had to like snap him out of it.
Yeah. And Elaine's like, you know what? I don't want you to kill a dog, man. Like, I'm not into this. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And Kramer's like, no. Like, maybe a light dog napping. You know, maybe we get the dog, fucking dog nap it, and
take it upstate.
Fuck it. Let's see what happens. But cut back to the boardwalk, and George is now full reminisce mode. He's thinking of Susan. He's thinking of their future. He's thinking of kids, the whole thing. And he just sort of like comes out of a daydream and just starts jogging, Steve, which is weird for a Costanza to do, but God damn it, he's got a hair up his ass, bud.
But once again, hilarious as he runs through this flock of seagulls. Yeah. And Elaine, back at her crib, she's trying to do some work, and that dog is still barking because when she left Newman, she was like, you know what, I'll sit on it. Let me stew on it, and I'll come back with an answer. It's like, all right, you know I'm gonna be here, you know where I live. So after this, like, this shit is just like going through her head. She can't work. It's driving her batshit. You know what? Something's got to be done about this dog. Now,
initiate Operation Dog Aside, motherfucker. So yeah, she dials them digits, Steve. She initiates the operation. And I don't know what you do in this situation, man. Like, isn't a knock on the door? Couldn't you just do that?
Yeah. But this is Seinfeld in France.
Yeah, right.
You know? We make mountains out of molehills here. But back at Jerry's, he's having a date and he's bothered, triggered by the way his date is eating her peas one by one.
One at a time? This is weird. At least say something. But I don't know. Is it gonna last?
She's got Asperger's.
I don't know. But like, would you break up with a chick for this, Steve?
This is super petty, and I'm a petty motherfucker. This is beyond petty.
But he does bring up the point that it took hours for this woman to eat dinner because of this. It's crazy behavior. Red flag. But go back to Susan's, and Susan being George's hopeful wife or girlfriend. He knocks on the door, Steve. He's in love. And he doesn't tell her he's in love. He's like, he goes right to the ultimate, will you marry me? And
at the doors.
I can't believe it, Steve. I can't believe it. And this woman doesn't shoo him away. Weirdly enough, she agrees to this. I think he says after a couple hours of talking about it, he really got to her. And George immediately has to get his mom and dad on the phone because they never expected something like this. Him to find an actual woman that's real. Frank can't believe it. With a woman!
Yeah. You come here.
Yeah, and then they get her on the phone. She's like, why? George's mom is like, why do you love him?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure she's hella gorgeous. What does it matter if she what does she look like? So she's not pretty.
And so George is engaged now. He's moved forward in that like talk. The talk really inspired him. So we go back to Jerry's apartment building, and out in the hallway he sees Kramer. And Kramer's acting a little weird. It's like, where are you going? And Kramer has like rope and shit. And Jerry puts two and two together. He's like, you're going after the dog. Fucking, and Kramer leaves, and then George comes over, and he's like, Kramer, where are you going? I got great news. So Kramer leaves, and they go into Jerry's, and he announces he's engaged. And it's hilarious because he's like, yeah, are you fucking stoned? And Jerry's like, yeah, man, great.
Like, and Susan, because you fuck her, right? Like, yeah, she's got a nice butt. Yeah, like, Nice hair.
Her cheeks blush. She's got the blush. But then George finds out a bombshell that Jerry actually broke up. I think her name's, I forget what the chick's name is. It's like Melina or something. I don't know. That's from Mortal Kombat. But he broke up with the chick because of the peas. You know, it was one thing to be shush, but then to add this pea thing onto it, that's when it actually got weird, Steve. And he had to break it off. And George is left there like, wait, dude, like, what? You
Like,
said.
what happened to the pact? Yeah, dude, we shook hands. Well, I just remember you like extending your hand and I shook it.
You put your hand out. We had a pact, man. He's like, pact? What? No, I didn't say I was gonna get married.
Right.
Fucking weirdo.
Like, but you are. So like you love her, right? Yeah, sure. You want to spend the rest of your life with her, right? Yeah.
Sure. He's like, well, let's get some champagne. And George is like, hey, man, cool. Party on. And then Sherry's like, I don't have any champagne. Sorry, bud. And he's like, all right, see you later.
It's just awkward like it's little moments like that that makes this shit great, man.
Yeah. And pact maybe broken, friendship and shattering. Then we cut to the dog napping, Steve. We're in like, I guess Kramer's rape van. I don't know whose rape van this is, but Newman, Kramer, and Elaine are just like on a stakeout, waiting for this dog to start making noise. And she wants to Elaine is like, you know what? I don't like being in a rape van with you two guys. I think I'm gonna call this off. And Kramer's like, no, man, we're gonna deliver this into a country field, and he's gonna prance around with a new family and prance and this and that, prancing. He keeps saying prancing. And I guess that's enough to sell it, Elaine, because I think she hears the dog start barking, and she's like, that's it. It triggers her, and she's like, go get it.
Go get that motherfucker.
Get
So
that
they get the dog, and it's a little runt.
Yeah, and she's like, wait, there's no way that's the dog. There's no way. And there, somebody says, like, well, make it bark. And God damn it, Steve, this dog that won't stop barking won't bark. They don't know, but they got a dog, so hopefully it's the right one. Newman's like, you said the one in the second thing. I got the one in the second thing. This is the dog. What do you want to do here? Because we just committed a felony, I think.
And meanwhile, Jerry comes to George's house, and reality's already set in with this relationship because now they were going to go see Firestorm in the theaters. But George says, like, you know what? I didn't tell Susan about it, and she actually wants to see Muted Heart. So it's like, all right, fine. I'll find somebody else to go.
Yeah. And then we cut to later when everybody's getting out. George and Susan are out of their movie. Susan's in tears. I don't you think they're going to find each other? And George is like, yeah, they're probably going to find each other. Great. Whatever.
Yeah.
And then he sees Jerry and his random friend coming out. And they're like, dude, Firestorm, bro. Dude.
That was the greatest.
So clearly it's not all it's cracked up to be. He didn't think this marriage thing over, and it's all, there's not even a honeymoon period. He proposed and then was like, fuck. Yeah. I love that.
He sees that friend with Jerry's like, that was supposed to be me. And now Kramer, he drops the dog off and, oh, what were you about to say?
No, I was going right into that. You got it.
Yeah, he drops the dog off at somebody's porch. And the dog bites off something. It says Rudy's. Was it like a handkerchief?
Yeah, I don't understand this part of it, but it did say Rudy. It took something off of his shirt or whatever he had, a coat. And so there's a piece of fabric that this dog will not let go of. Kramer leaves. The dog just immediately just starts backtracking, homeward bounding itself back to its owner with this piece of fabric in its mouth. But they think the job's done. The job has been done. They've delivered the dog. The dog napping's been done. Elaine can sleep peacefully in her bed now. But who knows? The dogs have weird senses. Like I said, homeward bound. Maybe it's going to find its way back to the owner. We'll see. But we cut back to Jerry's now. And Jerry's sitting with Elaine and he wants to know. He's like, so what's up with this dog? Who was the dog napper? Who was this mysterious man that you used? And Elaine's like, I don't want to tell you who it was. And he's like, well, I'm not going to tell you the big fucking news that I got. Because Elaine doesn't know about George yet. And he's like, oh, just wait, bitch. I want to know who this dog napper is pronto.
Yeah. And George, like, he can't sleep. Jerry, he's well rested. Kramer has nightmares about that damn dog from it biting him. And the dog, like in real time, it returns home. It found its way back home and it's barking again. And once again, Elaine is pissed. Like, what the fuck? How did he make it way back home?
And we see the owner's like sees this piece of fabric and is like, Rudy's. And I somehow she knows what that means. That's what I don't place in this episode, Steve. But anyway, Elaine eventually does find out. I think she reveals who the dog napper is. Jerry tells her about George. She does that Elaine thing where she's like, "Get out!" and she like fucking
Pushes the fuck
Lawrence
out of him.
Taylor's you out of the fucking way. We get that moment. I don't know if this is the first time that happened or not. This is season 7, so I can't imagine that is. But
Well, Jerry actually put two and two together himself. She never came clean about who did it because when he opens the door, he sees a cop at Kramer's crib and they're arresting him. And then, like, because the cop shows him the Rudies, and I guess everybody in the show knows about this Rudy's association. Me and you don't, and we watch it. So Jerry sees that. He was like, Newman.
yeah, and also the cops say Newman because they go right to Newman's, and he's like, when he opens the door, the cops open his door. He's just sitting there like, "What took you so long, you sons of bitches?" I love Newman, dude. He's so fucking funny.
He's starting to become one of my favorites on here. Definitely more so than Kramer.
And basically, then we cut to a cop car because Elaine, Newman, and Kramer all going downtown. Like I said, they did commit a crime. Somehow they put it together very quickly. And Newman's like, he's not even worried about it. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna have this place surrounded by male people in about 2 hours. We're gonna be out of this place by noon. But Elaine is like going through what George and Jerry went through at the beginning of the episode and is like, what am I doing here? Like, I gotta do something with my life. Fucking in the back of a cop car with Newman.
Yeah. And George is living in his hell, his own personal hell, because Susan take mad about you. Like, while everyone is going on dog capers and whatnot, he's watching the television audience laughing at Paul Reiser jokes.
I just love that that's the end. That's like the credits of the show, and it's literally like a solid 30 seconds of George just looking pissed off and annoyed while you hear the whole Mad About You intro song.
I love that dig because, like, I never watched an episode and I never will unless you pay us on Patreon. And like, the look on his face, he's hurt.
He hates his life.
But September 21st, 1997, New York Yankee Cecil Fielder hits his 300th home run. And I don't remember him being a Yankee, but
yeah, I don't either. He's a Tiger in my mind, but I always love me some Cecil Fielder, dude. Nice plus size major leaguer. Love that.
Representing for the Chubs. But in 98, the King of Queens debuts on CBS. Doug Hefferman gets a 70-inch TV to make his sports basement dream complete, but the dream turns into a nightmare when Carrie's father moves into the basement.
Classic. Couple of things that changed off of the pilot, but I am a huge lover of King of Queens. I love Kevin James, and this series is fucking funny. Mostly to me because of a character we get to see later in this, the dad, Jerry Stiller.
Steals the show.
Yeah, I mean, does in Seinfeld that we just watched too. But in this, Doug comes in hot. Guy owns a house, but he's yelling at all of his neighbors because they're making fun of his fucking short shorts that he has to wear for his job. And Carrie's like, chill out, dude. Got a little surprise for you. Little something early came. Go down in the basement, check it out. Because Doug has like a little man cave set up, missing one thing. A giant fucking TV, Steve. And the dream finally comes. It's there. It's happening. And he's in love with it.
I can watch my Jets lose on the big screen.
Oh my God. And this is it, Steve. This is every guy's dream. When you get a big ass TV, it just call them boys up. Call somebody up. You got to enjoy it with the buds. And
pay-per-views. Yeah.
And like immediately, I mean, not even 5 minutes into him having the fucking TV and even finding out about it, his three boys that we'll come to meet and know about just all fall down the stairs. And to be honest with you, they might have killed each other to see this TV, Steve. It ain't that big.
Big enough for them to stumble down the stairs. We get introduced to Deacon, Richie, and Spence, played by Patton Oswalt.
I love it. I mean, Deacon and Spence are going to be there for the long haul. I think Richie goes away after a while. That's one character. He's there for a while, but I think he falls by the wayside after a certain point. And
Judy Winslow him.
Yeah. And it's happening, Steve. The TV's there. The boys are watching it. And even in a crippling, like, fall down the stairs, Deacon, I think, or one of them's like, damn, that TV is nice. Paying those TV, respects, you know?
And we find out that they're going to have dinner at Carrie's dad's house. And we can also see that Doug is not feeling that idea. We sense that Doug feels a certain way about Carrie's father.
And she's like, dude, we canceled like 8 times. There's only so many grandparents that have died and this and that. Like, we got to go. And he's like, come on. That's basically it. He's just like, come on. I
fucked the shit out of you.
Yeah, this TV, us naked in the basement chilling. Let's do this. And the salesman he is, Steve, she calls. She's like, all right, next time though. Let's get down to that basement and make some waves. And they go down there, they're hanging out. Doug's living the dream. 5 minutes into that, we hear this fucking knock on the door, like cop knock, where she's like, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's just an urgent knocking on the door. It'll go away. Just ignore it.
Yeah, keep watching this big ass TV.
Yeah. And it doesn't go away. So he has to go upstairs. He opens the door, and it's Carrie's sister, who is just another person who is a character in this that will disappear pretty quickly. But she's got some bad news, Steve. Carrie's father's wife kicked the bucket. And Doug doesn't even give her the respect of opening the door. He slams it on her, and she delivers that news through the mail slot.
And the next scene, we're at the funeral, and this is how we're introduced to Arthur. That's Carrie's dad. And he's just like focused on this guy making sandwiches. It's like that's the 5th sandwich he didn't make.
Look at where the bologna's going. It's going into his pockets.
He's stealing all my coconuts.
And he confronts the guy, Steve. He's like, hey, bud, you coming to my wife's funeral to fucking steal some meat? Get out of here. Give me that. And he steals the meat. And Carrie, we cut to Carrie and her sister, and they're talking. They're like, so what about this home? We got to get him into this home because he's stealing meat from people out there. This guy's a loose cannon.
And her sister, Sarah, I believe her name is, well, where am I going to live? I got nowhere to stay.
Well, bitch.
Is it cool? Is it cool if I stay with y'all?
I love this. Doug's not even anywhere near that, but Carrie's like, yeah, of course. And I mean, it's her family, whatever. But she's like, you can stay until you get on your feet. But we do have to talk to Dad about this. But then everyone's leaving. Arthur's there. They're going to start having the conversation. And Carrie's sister's like, oh, hey, Dad, I just think we need to take some pressure off you, so I'm going to move out. Carrie said that I could move in with them for a while, which Doug's like in the background like, okay, that's fucking weird. And but the sister's like, I'm going to move out, so just want you to know. And the dad, they're thinking, I think in their heads that, you know, Arthur's going to be like, no, please don't leave me. But he's like, cool. Actually, I'm going to turn your room into a greenhouse so I can grow some of that medicine, if you know what I'm talking about, that glaucoma med.
I love that.
Yeah, hell yeah. A little subtle hints of some weed there. I love that. But he doesn't give a fuck. He's not even really upset, it doesn't seem like. He's got no emotion about the fact that he has a dead wife. So he's like, cool, like, you're out. I'm going to be growing weed and fucking in this empty house. That sounds great to me. But Carrie's sister's like, hey, we have something else to tell you too, Carrie. Putting her on the spot. And she's like, yeah, Dad, just think you maybe want to move into a home. So they blindside him with that. And you don't do that to Arthur. Not Arthur Spooner, Steve. He doesn't take
Not a man with pride. Just because I'm old, you think I can't take care of myself? I'm gonna live in this house by myself, same house that I made with my own two hands. Cut to the next scene. That house is on fire.
It's gone. It's fully gone, Steve. There's nothing saving it. And cut to Doug and Carrie's, and Doug comes in, and he's like, something smells like barbecue in here, like hickory smoke. What's going on here? Why is Arthur here? Why is your sister here? What's going on? And when he finds out that the house is gone, and we find out that Arthur, in his, being alone, he's like, I guess he has like a lucky hot plate that he had to cook on, and that's what caused the fire. And they're like, see, this is why you can't live by yourself. And he's like, it's my lucky hot plate. And it is lucky because it's the only thing that survived the fire. So that proves it. Okay?
Still
Get
intact.
off my back.
Yeah, it's from 1942. Made it through the Eisenhower, goddamn Roosevelt administration. Shit. Then seen some things.
Shit, survived Hiroshima. But now they got to figure some shit out because there's two homeless people in their kitchen. And basically what happens now is what Doug's nightmare is, where I do like what Doug's doing, where he's like, I mean, this sucks, but we'll figure it out. You know, he's not really saying they'll do anything. He's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. But Carrie's just like, you can tell it's affecting her, Steve.
It's her dad. She doesn't want to put him in a home. He doesn't want to go in a home. So she puts this on Doug's shoulders again. You know what? We need to let him stay here. It's like, what the fuck?
I do like how they
Carrie crying
conversation though, because she's like, Doug's like, I don't know what the alternative other than like a nursing home is. And Carrie's like, well, there is one alternative. And he's like, euthanasia? Again.
Because living here definitely is not a fucking option.
Yeah, this man cave is decked the fuck out. Like, I can't, where are we going to put him? The garage? I mean, that's kind of fucked up, but okay. You can live outside.
Can't put him inside the TV. There's tubes in there.
Yeah.
And it went from Carrie crying to now Doug's crying because he relents finally. And he's just like, oh, shit, he can fucking stay here too. God damn. Oh, my man cave.
And she's like, okay, I'm going to go upstairs. And she's like, are you coming? He's like, I just need a couple more minutes, girl.
Hold me.
I mean, here's the thing, though. This guy, like, the dad's enough. The dad's a lunatic. Then you're adding the sis on top of that. You're adding two extra hot bodies into, not hot, like pause, two bodies, warm bodies, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna work out. But Doug, he's a good husband, Steve. So he's like, fine, go do it. He has his moment. And then we cut later. And it really hasn't changed that much because him and his boys are still watching a big screen TV, Steve. But it's in his bedroom, in his bed, and you can only see about half of it because the room's so small that it cuts off half the TV. So
yeah, you got 4 grown-ass men sitting on a bed under the covers.
Yeah. Well, and also
halfway.
A couple things going on here. Richie's eating like a damn foot-long sub with all the cold cuts and shit on it, all the accoutrements, so that's a problem. Get that out of here. And then Spence, Patton Oswalt's weird, creepy little ass, he's trying to get under the covers with these guys. And, we can't have that. What Deacon's like, covers off, mother. He has a moment where he's like, come on, man.
Take them covers off. Shit.
I can't see what the damn Jets just did. It went under the fucking bedpost. You're popping a wood under my fucking leg. What the fuck?
So now Doug, he's trying to shave. And Carrie's sister Sarah, she comes in and she takes a shower. And he just can't ignore this naked body that's not his wife behind him while he's trying to cut his damn goatee.
Like goddamn Jessica Rabbit over there. It's like, god damn it. So he's trying to not look, but he's looking. But then we cut down and we see the aftermath because he's got about like 70 little tabs of fucking TP because he cut his face into ribbons looking at those silhouette titties, Steve. And Carrie really doesn't give a fuck too much about that, but that's odd.
Well, she doesn't know. She wasn't there. He's because she wants to know, like, man, so like, why is your face fucked up? Well, I can't really go into
I would
details.
rather not say. And to add insult to injury, also, Doug's got to hang out with his boys in his bed. He ain't getting sex. He's looking at weird women in his bathroom naked. And then Arthur comes up talking about having morning wood out of his
Yeah.
damn man cave. It's like, damn, I can't get any breaks here. So, it's not working, Steve. The arrangement, the whole sitch. I'd be getting every fucking brochure for a fucking nursing home at this point. And the sister, you gotta go, lady. You're a full-grown adult actress. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna end up having sex with you. You gotta go.
And later he can't even escape on the road, Steve, because he's in his
On the
truck getting
fucking
calls
road.
from Carrie. And she's like, hey, love you, pouring it on thick, because he's basically just cucked at this point, Steve, to use a modern day term. He's just been completely curb stomped emotionally. And she's telling him how great he is, how much this decision's affected her father, and how it's really settled him down. To be honest, he's in the room right now reading the Bible. I forget what book she says he's reading. But then
He's gonna be
Doug's
reading
like,
all day.
cool. And he looks over, and Arthur's in a convertible with what we find out are hookers, Steve. He's got some fucking streetwalkers, and he's going out on the town. And I do love that for a retired man.
And he's
Recently
blaring
deaded wife, also. I love that.
polka music. I don't know if you caught
I
this.
didn't catch that. I just saw the three hookers in the fucking goddamn Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas convertible. It looked awesome. He looked like he was having a great time.
Living his best life. He even said when he told him about the morning was like, you know what? Today's gonna be my day.
But Arthur's out there getting hookers, and Carrie's not happy about it. Doug's not happy about it. The sister's ambivalent because she's out there trying to get acting work. And Arthur, I question here, did he bring the hookers back to the crib, Steve?
I think they said something about that because Doug ends up laying the law. Like I want to say one of the things like, hey man, don't bring hookers back to my place of residence. That's for one.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, he does lay the law because he's like, listen, you're not going to step in front of me with your sexy ass in the shower, so I got to look at some sexy body that I can't touch while I'm shaving because I almost cut my jugular. You, no hookers. That should be, you should understand that at this point. And I feel like Arthur respects this. He gets demonic. He gets, Doug steps up, and I feel like he's now the alpha dog in the house, Steve.
The man
Or
of
so
the
we
house,
think.
man. And the first episode, man, we get some character establishment with all parties involved.
Yeah. And Arthur, at the end of this, we do find like they're about to get freaky and the lights start flickering. We do find out Arthur still might have that hot plate. So TBD. The next episode might be them looking for a new house because he burned it down. But no, this is a great episode. We get, like all pilots, you want to get introduced to people real quick. And I think it does a great job of that. And it also, it's funny to sort of be a fan of this show. And I kind of forgot there was a sister involved. Like with Carrie's side, it's just usually her and her dad. And I think the sister's like, maybe even after this episode, they're just like, bye.
Richie, sister, y'all serve no purpose.
I mean, Richie's, he's in there for a while. And he's like he's just a fucking, like, they make a stereotypical Italian, hey.
It's
When
New
you-
York, so
Yeah.
got to.
Hell yeah.
Finally
I
get to
love
talk
Steve.
about
Were you a fan of King of Queens, just out of curiosity? Is this a show that you watched or have watched before we got into it here?
No, it was on CBS, so like that kept me away from it. I would catch it on syndication, but I paired it with Everybody Loves Raymond, and I think because they were both on CBS, maybe if they were on ABC or NBC, I would have gave them a shot because they're actually not bad shows, man. I mean, Everybody Loves Raymond, all cast members, it was an ensemble cast, everybody did the part. Same thing with King of Queens, man, even his buddies. And of course there's Jerry Stiller. You throw some Jerry Stiller in there, stir it.
Plus, you get Patton Oswalt, you get Rachel Dratch eventually is a character in this show. The blonde chick that was in Mad TV is a huge character in this show. They eventually hire her to be like a she's a dog walker, but they hire her to walk Arthur because they just want to get him out of their hair. So she becomes like a regular character on it. It's
Nicole
funny,
Sullivan,
man. Yeah, I think that is it. Yep.
and of course there's Leah Remini.
Yeah, she's sexy, and she gets sexier and
Yeah.
sexier in this show too, Steve. So, and then
Oh, I
Deacon's
believe it.
wife is a super hottie when she gets involved.
From what I remember, yeah, she was cold, man. So yeah, we definitely got to cover some more Kevin James and company. But you know who probably didn't watch King of Queens when it debuted on CBS in 1998, Matthew?
Mm.
Probably the Yon Man, because he was releasing Forbidden Dreams Encore Collection Volume 2. It's like,
Encore collection, Steve. I mean, this guy couldn't stop putting out hits.
you know, they talk about how Tupac was just vigorous in the studio, just tearing up the booth. He can write 11 songs in an hour. But damn, could he light the candle, the torch of the Yon Man?
The Yanni like catalog has to be astronomical from what we've just seen. I mean, we're covering just random days. Every time we talk, this guy released an album, Steve.
Whether it's
mean,
91, 96, 98, he's done something every week in the 90s.
well, he has to pay for all that hair conditioner and mustache wax and stuff, and all the, all the child support that I'm sure he has to pay to all the women that he sexed. Because above all else, we know that Yanni is a sexual dynamo, and I mean, from what I can see here, maybe one of the most prolific musicians ever, but definitely in the 90s, for sure, for sure.
What does he even play?
Piano. Piano?
Oh, he's a
Piano and keyboard. If you look him up live, Steve, the only reason I even know that is because they used him in Impractical Jokers, the TV show, because one of the dudes likes him. But
oh wow.
if you look up, because I got curious about this because we talk about him so much. If you look him up live, dude, this guy's playing two-handed keyboards on either side, and like he's going full ensemble performance just by himself. I mean, he's got some talent, Steve. Those fingers got some magic in them. Pause. But just don't get any like older ladies next to this guy because they're gonna get sexed. Don't.
Yanni, Das Wonder Kid. But also in 1998, Will and Grace debuts on NBC. Never seen one fucking episode, but it was a thing for a long time. Actually, 246 episodes, 11, more than a decade, 11 seasons.
And then they brought it back because it was so popular. They brought it back to one of the streamers recently. And to give some shout outs to somebody who is good on this show, I'm not a huge fan, but I did have to watch it because of girlfriends in my life at random points. Kendra, too. The chick who's looking sassy behind you, that's related or married to the dude from Community.
Ron Swanson.
Ron Swanson. That chick's fucking funny. That chick's hilarious in the show.
Megan Mullally.
There you go. Called it.
I'll never forget that name because Megan Mullally, that's a name of a woman with big titties. And I don't know if this woman has big titties, but like that name, that's that last name, Mullally, Megan Mullally. I just like that's what it gives me. Mullally.
Damn.
That's what she should do every time someone's Mullally.
I mean, shout out to her also because she was in Frasier and she almost sexed Niles Crane up because she was just a sex pot in that show too. So just living it up in the 90s. Megan Mullally, as Steven says.
Triple D's on that motherfucker.
Damn.
I don't even, she might not have big titties. I don't know. But she got some sexiness to her. But in 1999, Brian McKnight releases Back at One. It's like a dream come true. Man, Brian McKnight makes some fucking baby makers.
I mean, he helped Martin woo Gina and get that ring put on, Steve. If that don't just like cinch it, clinch it, whatever the word is, my dude. I love me some. Didn't Brian McKnight also have a funny, like, kind of comedic, like, sexual song? Like, let me get the pussy. It was like something like that.
I feel like he collaborated with SNL. He did something.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you're talking about. He's got some comedic sensibility. Shout out to Brian McKnight. But also in 99, another good singer, Chris Cornell, releases Euphoria Morning. And I remember this being on the making a video when MTV had that. They would pick a song of an artist and they'll show you the behind the scenes. And
I
the
used to love
video that
that.
they made the song was she's going and change the world, but she can't change me. No, she can't change me. This whole album, Euphoria Morning, is pretty dope, man. Because like as we know, the guy's a talented singer and very soulful, man. It's a breakaway from his Soundgarden stuff. It's definitely not like the Audio Slave stuff. It's more an acoustic variety, man. And you know, you add some Chris Cornell with some beautiful acoustic, if you will. Can't go wrong. This is good music to start your day with. I'll say that.
Okay.
For
I didn't remember he had a solo joint. I
he had
I
a couple.
I didn't remember that, but I'm definitely have to check this out because Chris Cornell. I mean, if he's bringing the pipes, I don't know if he's playing the shit or what, but it's got to be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's on the acoustics too, man. But also in '99, Our Lady Peace releases "Happiness Is Not a Fish That You Can Catch." I remember the album cover, and this is the one with the One Man Army. I remember falling. Every time I am falling like a one man army when I say ha 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 ha. You can only take Our Lady Peace for so long, man, because the guy's voice it's just like bits and pieces. This is the guy who did yeah, Superman's dead. He kind of has like if Adam Sandler was a serious singer because he does a lot of
It's funny, yeah, hell yeah. Ooh.
oh the Undertaker.
That's funny. Our Lady Peace, dude. Yeah, I that's one of those bands I remember like being pissed when I would see my buddies have that in their CD. I'd be like, God damn
You fucking pussy! I'm gonna punch you.
it.
Are you better than? I thought you were better than this. Like
I'm not hanging out.
I will add Superman's Dead to a playlist, you know, or something like that.
You
But
know,
speaking of
they had a
Adam,
couple though. I'm with you on that. I'll give them that.
but a full album, come here, buddy. I want to punch your glasses off. But speaking of Adam Sandler, Stan and Judy's Kid is released. And this has been certified gold at this point, and it didn't get any like mainstream radio push. He didn't have any like releases or videos like Chris Rock would do for his. But this was also nominated for best spoken word album. Man, it didn't win, but
He this is one of the things I miss most about this era of comedy in general because this isn't the first comedy album he had. He had two, I think, before this. But these things are hilarious. They're audio skits, they're song comedy songs. They're R-rated for a guy that was in SNL, so there's a lot of like crazy sexual shit that you were just like, Adam Sandler's saying this crazy shit. And this one, I'm trying to think of some funny ones. There's one called The Psychotic Legend of Uncle Donnie, where a guy kills a
yeah,
bunch of people on a boat. And I think there's another one about golf where um there's like there it's like a PGA announcer and the golfer is like a legend but he's drunk and he's there the whole thing is
the
like the guy
champion.
having he's like the champion is taking a shit into the cup and it ends with the guy getting like shot and killed. I think this doesn't sound hilarious but it
No,
is. It's
it
very
no,
fucking funny.
and the thing that sucks though, man, Spotify, they block out a lot of these comedy albums. I don't know what it is. I'm sure if I dig deep enough in Google, I'll find out. But a lot of these comedy albums, man, they'll pick just like maybe a track and then it'll skip like half the fucking
I
album,
had
man.
all these. Me and Jordan used to listen to that Uncle Donnie skit. Uncle Donnie, stop! That shit. It's so fucking funny, man. Like, and there's no video. It's you're just listening to these funny ass sketches. This is something that like dumb. Like it's not dumb, but I just always wanted to try to replicate shit like this. You know, just record like comedy audio sketches and stuff. Because then you don't have to like film it. You just have to write it well. And that's how good this shit was. It was fucking dying out loud funny with your buddies just listening to it like low so the mom and dad didn't hear the shit because it's raunchy as fuck.
Even for those standards, that those days standards.
Yeah,
But any callbacks, honorable mentions, or takeaways, sir?
it's getting exciting for 90s people, Steve, and for me specifically because there's two things just real quick. I don't want to like plug shit that we're not getting money off of but I'm excited for. there's a new Mortal Kombat video game coming out, and I love Mortal Kombat, and I'm a sucker for that. So I'm gonna go back and play that and love that. And also, we talked about it just now, but Frasier, they just released a preview for the reboot of it they're doing for Peacock, and we've discussed. I hate reboots. I don't like it, but I'm cautiously optimistic and excited about it. It looks fun. It looks like it's in the same vein of it, and from what I hear, they're gonna try to get a lot of the people that are available still to do like cameos in it. You know, like David Hyde Pierce, Carrie Gilpin, and Daphne and stuff. So
Yeah.
who knows? I hope it's good. And as somebody who loves Frasier, I just want this to be fun and like to be sort of. It's not going to be as good as the orig, but you know, hopefully they don't fuck it up. I'm excited to see them not do that.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep my eyes and ears out for it too, man. They have most of the key parts there, but like Martin Crane brought a lot to that dynamic, man. So like it's gonna be interesting to see like how they're gonna go about this without him, man, because like he served like he was the antithesis of his sons. And so,
Yeah.
you know, not having that, like you would think they're going to have a substitute of some sort. They would have to.
I was going to say, one, I've read that they're actually going to pay tribute to the like Martin character, Martin Crane, the character in the show.
Of course.
But if you watch the preview, what they're doing is he's moving back to Boston. He's trying to reconnect with his son who doesn't like him, and his son's a guy's guy. His son's a firefighter. So his son's sort of taking the place of his dad, but also they're sort of replicating that relationship he had with his dad because his son doesn't want to hang out with him. He's averse to that. So there's a little bit of similarity there too. So I think like the way they're doing it, they're sort of, you know, they're giving you that same relationship, but now it's with his son instead of his dad. So I think it's, if they do it right, I think it'll be fun, man. I really think they've thought it out.
I don't, man. Yeah, like it's going to be this year.
I think it's coming out like in October. Like I think October 12th, if I'm not mistaken, but it's going to be on Paramount Plus because and that's who's producing it. So I'll let you know, man. I got the fucking app, and I'm definitely gonna be there day one. Because Kelsey Grammer, dude, that's a legend, man. I love that dude, and I love Frasier. It has a special place in my heart, weirdly enough. So, how about you though? What's any shout outs? I know you got your birthday coming up, so shout out to that. But what else?
91, Saved by the Bell is airing the aftermath. This is a week later after Zach's been dumped. And what I love about this is Zach's pettiness because they're at the max and he's on a date with Screech's cousin, who happens to be actually attractive. And the gang sitting at the table is like, oh, you know my friends. There's Screech, there's Slater, there's Jesse, there's Lisa, and Kelly's there waiting on him. And he's just like, oh yeah, you get us the best table you can find. And the sexy one right here, she'll have a milkshake with me, 2 straws, and I love that. Like I applaud that. And they yeah, the petty pants were on for Zach, but they get on him for being petty. Like the rest of the friends turn on him because they were siding with him. It's like, oh, dude, you're being a piece of shit. You know that was Kelly's
give
song.
Give the guy a week though, y'all. He got his damn chick stolen by a 38-year-old dude. I mean, what are you fucking gonna do here?
Let him have his fun. And speaking of Kelly, also in the college years in 93, it's called Rush Week. That's the episode. The guys are trying to get to a fraternity, girls are trying to get in a sorority. And Kelly Kapowski, at one point, she's on her knees pleading to be in the sorority. And the back of her feet are dirty as fuck. I was so disappointed. I was like, damn, girl, you've been driving Flintstone cars? Like, you still sexy, though.
She got dope fiend feet, Steve?
Man, like she was dating Pookie. Yeah.
I don't. Damn, Kelly really let it go in the college years. She's got dirty feet and she's fucking professors. What's going on here? The
well,
wheels
you know how
off.
it was in college. You know, you let us off the porch and we run amok. Don't know how to take care of ourselves. Man, you ain't bathed in 3 days. But in 1994, Larry Sanders Show is airing the episode The 14th Floor, and that was hilarious. It had a cameo from Haley Joel Osment and John Ritter. But we've covered quite a few Larry Sanders in the recent past. And yeah, man.
Hell yeah, Steve. Well, there we go. And once again, everybody, send Steve a happy birthday as soon as possible because it's about to happen. So, Steve, I love doing the show with you. Happy birthday. And the dancing girls are on the way right now. So just get ready. Okay.
Looking forward to it, man. I appreciate that, man. I couldn't find a better cohort to do this with. Like I tell people who haven't seen it, one of my advertisement slogans, hey, me and this guy, we were talking about this stuff in the 90s when it happened in real time.
Hell
But
yeah.
please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister, where's the little sister at? Where's the little sister at? Michael B. Jordan, where's your little sister at? Little baby, where's your little sister at?
Bill Clinton, where your little
Where's
sister
your little
at?
sister at? Donald Trump, where's your little sister at? But shout out to our sister and brother shows, brother. Food Show Fanatics, our guy Councilman Clark. Don't Worry, Be Movie with Amanda Wade, and Crush Chasm every Wednesday with Kendra B. This is Steve G. and Mad G with Happen in the 90s.
You ran over Petey Donnie. Cut the fucking motor.